Good evening, friends. Happy Monday evening. It's Shannon. Just checking in. I'm just going to give an update on a few different things. I have obviously not stitched a bunch this weekend just because it was a very busy weekend, but I did do a little bit yesterday evening just to unwind from the evening. I alluded to it today in my outfit of the day this morning, but I was not anticipating having such after the wedding, and I didn't even have to do much. And I'm very excited for them to be married, very excited to have her join our family and for my son to join their family. Very, very happy with everything. And the wedding itself was a complete blast. So much fun. I did not take pictures very much because I was just busy being in the moment. I think it was just like all of that. And then we got up early, took them to the airport to leave for their honeymoon. Then my friend left, and it was just like, and then all my family was gone, and it was just so quiet so fast that I was useless. Like I could hardly put a sentence together. And so I just kind of wandered around all day, just really didn't know what to do. So then they had a very tight connection in Dallas, and then they flew to Japan. And I did not anticipate how anxious I was going to be about them on that flight, because it's over a 13-hour flight. And my daughter-in-law does not love to fly. It makes her a little bit anxious, a little bit sick. And so knowing that he was going to need to take care of her to a degree, making sure that she was okay. And I had no communication with him during that time. And so then I woke up in the middle of the night, realized that they probably would have landed, but I had not heard from him. He hadn't texted, and it was clear that his phone had not connected. And in the spring, when my friends and I did a girls trip and we went to London, I had a terrible time. My phone would not connect in London, and for several hours I just did not have phone. I could not figure it out. I tried to do an eSIM, and it was a disaster. And anyway, all of that to say that it kind of triggered me, that so anxious that they maybe weren't able to connect, or he wasn't able to connect his phone. And so I was up in the lot in the middle of the night and praying and doing all of the things that I could to get back to sleep. Eventually I did get back to sleep, woke up at 6 a.m, and he had texted at 4:30 that they were at their hotel. So he'd obviously connected. They had figured out the train to get to their hotel in Tokyo. So that was all a big relief. So once I got that this morning, I felt better. And then throughout the day, he texted a couple of times because they were up in the middle of the night. And so all of that to say, I'm in a much better place now than I was yesterday at this time, and even 12 hours ago. So I am grateful for that. And I just would say I had not planned on any kind of a response to the wedding, or like a letdown, or any kind of an adjustment. And I've never done this before. I've never, my baby boy has never gotten married before. So all of that to say is, if you are facing a big change like this, my advice is plan a little bit of downtime. I really wish I had taken a day of PTO today, because, well, maybe it's better that I didn't. So I was busy at work, but all of that to say, it was more of an adjustment than I expected. All right. So therapy over. I'm sorry. There's a couple things that I did want to share. So, nothing really stitching wise. So first, this bag. So this is the bag that I shared that I carried to the wedding, and it didn't come through. I used Cinematic, and it was, it wasn't showing it up very well, but I did want to share because this was so much fun to make. It was a labor of love, in full transparency, but I just wanted to share a little bit more in depth. So, I hand stitched all of this, and it's really hard to pick up, but they're individual sequins, seed beads, different kinds of beads, all on, felt. You know what? I've got something in progress. Let me show you. Hold on. This started Christmas before last, and my daughter and I got into this for a little bit. I was making little felt letters to put on the kids' stockings, and started doing this. And then I started this little Christmas tree, and then she took it and finished it up. So this is how I did the purse. I had a piece of wool felt. I traced out the shape that I wanted, and then I just stitched just like this. All different kinds of seed beads and bugle beads and sequins, and just stitched it solid. So all I did was go from place to place to place and just fill it in solidly with all the different beads that I could find. So this tree was made exactly the same way. We just never finished it. My daughter finished this up for me. But at the time, she took this, and I was kind of missing it. I loved having it as just an ongoing nighttime stitching project. So that's when I started doing this. So I traced it on wool felt and just did all of maybe that'll show up, just sewed all of this on. And then I went and bought, this is a plastic canvas purse form. They used to carry them at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. I don't remember exactly where I bought it, but then what I did is I just stitched the inside. I started needlepointing, and then I was in a panic because I was trying to get it done for an event. Excuse me. So then I just started doing like really big stitches just to cover it, because this was just the lining. And so then I just sewed it all together, just, whip stitched the pieces together to form, the purse part, and just wrapped that felt around it and just sewed it. And then for the clasp, because I hadn't really planned ahead, I just took a vintage clip-on earring, and you can see it. I just sewed it on there, and then I just used a ponytail holder because I didn't have any elastic, and just sewed it down, and then that just clasps over that earring. Not very well from here, and that's how it closes. And I did put, what I did was I took just some jump rings and ran it through the canvas, and then just used some push clasps that I got off of Amazon and put a chain on it in case I wanted a chain, to carry it with a chain. And then I can just slip that inside, just like in an evening bag. You can put that inside if you don't want it. And that's my bag. So I thought I would share a little bit more in depth because a couple of people, sort of asked about it, but I really do think it's so beautiful. It just, all of the sparkle. I'm very happy with it. I've never carried it. There were a few beads that had kind of come loose. And so before I left, like the day before, I just tacked those back down. So I think it'll be okay. Like this one's a little bit loose, but I don't care. It's not like it's an everyday bag. So really pleased with that. And I had a lot of fun making it and a lot of fun carrying it. So I just thought I'd share that. Okay. And then last, random. Sometimes people ask me about my regular glasses, these glasses. I did just get a new pair. I buy my glasses from Costco, and they are progressives, but at this distance, it's better for me to use just regular old readers. But these are from Costco, and I have a peanut head apparently. So these are kids' glasses. They're branded Pez, like the candy company. But I did want to share my sunglasses because I just picked them up tonight, and I just thought they were so cute. So look at those. Aren't those fancy? So I got the blue mirrored lenses. And what I was going to say is I heard this on this little tip, I don't know, on a blog or a podcast years and years ago. So I love blue, and blue is basically my signature color. So when I'm given a choice to choose colors, I just always choose blue. And in this case, I think it turned out pretty cool. So that's it. I'm sorry I've rambled on so long. I hope you've got a great evening ahead of you, and thanks for coming along.